Before the fear kicks in, make sure you subscribe and click that bell notification so you won't miss anything. The creepiest honeymoon horror story. This story was told to me by my brother, who is quite a bit older than me, and because of this, we were never that close, so at any opportunity to annoy or frighten me, he would take it. One winter's night, as Dad was driving us back from visiting family in Swindon, we passed through the edge of the Savernake Forest on the outskirts of the old historic town of Marlborough, which is famous for so many things but more for Marlborough College, a private school for the very rich and infamous. The English poet Sir John Betjeman was an ex-pupil, as well as a few from the royal family. Savernake Forest was first mentioned back in 934 AD, and it's the only ancient privately owned forest and is around 4,500 acres. As we approach the forest, and I'm sat in the back of the car, as my brother, the golden boy, was always allowed to sit in the front. I'm looking into the trees, hoping to see Dracula or a werewolf, because at the age of 8, that's all I wanted to see. Suddenly, as I'm looking from one side of the road to the other, I swear blind, I saw a figure stumble over to a tree near the car. In my mind, it was a werewolf. I excitedly say, I just saw a werewolf. Everyone groans in the car, heard it loads of times before. No one says anything. I did, I say again. I'm ignored for the rest of the 15-minute journey. We get home and unpack. Then suddenly my brother ushers me into my bedroom and shuts the door. I'll tell you what you might have seen tonight, but it wasn't a werewolf. Werewolves don't exist. They only exist in horror films. What you saw was far worse because it's real, he informed me. Did you hear the gruesome tale of the honeymoon couple that ran out of fuel and stopped deep in Savernake Forest? He asked. No, came my reply, holding my breath in case he did his usual thing of then not carrying on his story, as he knew that would wind me up. You sure you want to hear it, as it's scary? He asked. I just nodded in the dumb way you do when the words won't come out quick enough. Then he began. A few years ago, a recently married honeymooning couple from America hired a big camper van and were touring the southern half of the UK. They had come down from London and were going to head to Stonehenge to watch the sunrise. As they passed through Marlborough, they decided to stop overnight in the woods, but got caught up and lost in the labyrinth of connected roads around the forest. As the honeymoon couple were driving along one of its roads, the husband swerved the van to avoid a large branch which had fallen into the road. Then, no more than half a mile down the road, the vehicle started to splutter and convulse. The husband glanced down at the fuel gauge and realised they had run out of petrol. He pulled the camper van over to the side of the road where there was a lay-by. He nudged his sleepy bride and explained the problem. I saw a garage about 2 miles back. I can go there and get enough in a can to drive back there tomorrow and fill the tank up. It's too late, his wife argued. All she wanted to do was sleep, and she was exhausted from all the sightseeing they had been doing. Listen, honey, you get some sleep and I'll be back as quick as I can. I've got a flashlight and some money, and the walk will do me good. Keep the doors locked until I get back. And then he picked up the torch and the fuel can and shut the door. He locked the door behind him in case she was still asleep when he got back. When he walked away, she downed a couple of sleeping pills to help with her headache. She slept soundly in the camper van for a couple of hours, but then her sleep became disturbed by a banging sound. The intensity grew louder, so she turned over in the bed and pulled the covers over her head. Suddenly she awoke with a fright as a white penetrating beam of light poured through the flimsy curtains. The thumping continued very loudly and right over her head. What the hell was going on? Then a voice, distorted and grinding, shouted, "Is there anyone in the camper van? Please come to the window. If you are in there, please make yourself known. This is the police. Please come to the window. You have nothing to worry about, but you must come to the window." What the hell was going on? Was she still in her dream, which now seemed like a nightmare? Again the voice shouted, "This is the police. Please come to the window." She moved to the window and pulled the curtain back. Outside she could see 3 or 4 police cars and policemen with lights trained on the camper van. They were all stood behind their opened car doors. She noticed the window was partially obscured by something on the window, but she couldn't make out what it was. Again the voice called out to her, while a banging rhythmical noise could be heard just feet away from her head. "We can see you. Please open the door, but run as quickly as you can towards me now." She shook her head, trying to clear it of all the strange sounds and shouting. She could hear what sounded like laughter too. It was all too much for her. She started to scream, crying out for her husband. "Please open the door now and run to me," the policeman implored her. "Open the door, run, but whatever you do, don't look back." She fumbled with the door lock, which she had to just twist one way to unlock it. Where the hell was her husband? Why wasn't he here to deal with all this crap? She opened the door. The policemen all took a step back. "Right now I need you to run to me as quick as you can, but do not look back, whatever you do," he pleaded with her. She jumped from the vehicle, her heart pounding, legs not wanting to work. She fell to the ground but quickly picked herself up. The policeman was shouting at her to run to them. She ran another 10 feet, then turned back to the camper van. The policeman screamed for her not to look round, but she heard a mocking, sinister laugh and saw a tall, thin man kneeling on the roof of the camper van, holding a red, odd-shaped object in his hand, which he was using to bang on the roof. She looked and focused again at the object and noticed red liquid was dripping from one of its ends. She then realised the object was actually her husband's head. Thanks for watching. Go check out my online horror shop, Clown Merchandise, to protect you from demons. Click the link below. One of you listening right now is gonna have me knock on your window in 4, 3, 2,